A massive wildfire swept through Colorado last week, the largest and most destructive fire the state has ever seen. The fire affected over 1,000 homes and businesses, and officials say there is $513 million worth of damage. Today, President Biden visited Colorado to assess the situation. Joining us now is Tom Greany, a practicing Catholic and survivor of the Colorado wildfires. Tom, thank you so much for your time today. And want to say right off the bat here, we are so sorry, and we're praying for you and your entire community. And I know that you and your family have personally felt the impact of that wildfire. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and also how you and the community are doing in general right now?
Yeah, thanks, Tracy. We're doing great through the outpouring of love and generosity of many, many people. We are established in a rental unit that's going to work out well for us. Most of the people in our neighborhood have been taken care of, but there is a long list of waiting lists, I understand, for rentals, as you might imagine, with 1,000 families displaced. So we're doing really very well under the circumstances, I think better than most.
Yeah, and can you talk to us a little bit more about, personally what happened to your home? And also there was sort of, as I know, and people will find out, there was one thing that was left standing. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, so when my boys and I got back to the neighborhood to survey the damage after the fire, it was complete. The home looked like it had just been vaporized. Literally nothing you could recognize almost. Twisted beams, metal shelving that had melted and twisted, fallen bricks, crumbling mortar, and then we were standing on our front porch kind of looking, and there to our left was a statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary that's been there for 22 years, and she had obviously taken a few hits from the brick. The whole right side of the statue was covered in kind of a tarry goo. The damage to the home was just almost indescribable. And the heat, we found melted oven racks, for example, and melted glass everywhere. But the statue stood tall, didn't even topple over. And, it was clear that things had fallen around it and even probably struck the statue. So that gave us great peace, kind of like Mary saying, "I'm with you, I feel your pain, I'm praying for you, I'm no stranger to this sorrow," and it was just gave us a lot of peace.
Oh, I'm sure, especially seeing all that devastation. I mean, when you saw the statue of the Blessed Virgin Mary still standing there, what was your first reaction? What did you think?
Well, my wife and I have a devotion to Mary and consecrated ourselves to Christ through Mary, and we feel like she truly does look out for us and pray for us. And so it wasn't really that surprising. It was just reassuring. You can always use reassurance in moments like this.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to talk about, too, because you and your family certainly aren't the only ones who were impacted. And you mentioned all the people that need help. And we also understand Archbishop Samuel Aquila from the Archdiocese of Denver started a relief fund to help those families. What more do you know about that? And are other faith leaders in the area also doing the same?
So there are a lot of those sorts of funds, both Catholic and otherwise. People have been extraordinarily generous. Yes, Archbishop Aquila did start that. I think it's archden.org. Could be wrong. And, just like I say, people have just come out of the woodwork to be supportive. Nonetheless, the people who are best connected socially are doing far better. We do know people in our neighborhood who have needs. We've known people who are struggling in their relationships, that this is probably going to create two families out of one, and so there are a lot of people who are probably not as well socially connected that are definitely in need.
And Tom, what would you want people to know that are watching right now? How can we help? And also, what are your plans for the statue of the Blessed Mother that survived?
Yeah, so I think of myself, or I thought of myself originally as a terminal receiver, people just giving to me. But what I found is there's opportunities to regift things that we can't use to take our abundance of resources and hopefully be good stewards in paying it back in. There's opportunities to give. Everybody wants to give right after it happened. This is going to be a 2 to 3 year rebuild for most people, and there'll be moments, many moments, when they'll be able to step up and help with time or, just running errands, you name it. It doesn't have to be financial. One of the greatest gifts, we believe, is prayer. And almost everybody says, you're in my prayers, but what else can I do? As if to say, somehow that's not enough. But prayers are absolutely the greatest gift when they're made in faith. And I truly believe that. The statue, we decided we're not going to change anything. It's kind of a symbol of, through the worst and darkest of times, we're not alone. And it's not like we're going to clean that statue. God's great. I mean, He gives so much to us, and we were so blessed. And the reason why we feel these things as pain is because we're so blessed.
Well, Tom, I have to tell you, we are praying for you again. I know everyone is, and your community. And we thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and sharing this all with us. God bless you.
Thank you, Tracy. God bless you all.
And an incredible story. And Tom says the story of the statue has been picked up by national and international media, and that he and his family have received messages on social media from people around the world. In fact, some of those messages were from people struggling with their faith who say the statue of Mary now has them thinking of returning to the church. That is amazing.